Namaste. Nice to see you. So, let's start with an energetic flow today. So we'll get that blood moving, that prana, that beautiful energy. And we'll start with the breath. So find any comfortable seat. Maybe it's hero, maybe you're sitting cross-legged. Maybe you're propped up on a blanket, the edge of a blanket or cushion. Good. So maybe close your eyes. Either close your eyes or perhaps just a soft-eyed gaze. And start to just focus inward. So just noticing what you're feeling, or maybe what you're thinking, any sensations in the body. And then begin to notice your breath. So just start by just noticing the natural inflow and outflow. See if you can notice where the breath is flowing. Is it just above the upper lip? Can you feel the chest expand with the inhale and soften with the exhale? Can you feel the belly perhaps gently rise and fall? It's just a time to just take note. Check in and see what you're feeling. Notice. So just a couple more moments just sitting. Just taking it all in. And then we'll begin to build that foundation of breath. And we'll take our pranayama as a Durga breath. So that 3-part yoga breath. So as you inhale, you take that breath in through your nose. Draw it all the way down to the bottom of the belly, like you're filling it up like a big balloon. And as you exhale, pour that breath out, back out through the nose, emptying out, deflating that balloon. Maybe at the bottom of the exhale, just squeezing that navel in toward the spine, squeezing out that last bit of breath. And just continue like this, inhaling through the nose, filling up with beautiful prana, life force energy. And as you exhale, letting go of anything that's not serving you. Take about 3 or 4 nice deep breaths, just like this. Maybe lengthening the breath 2 or 3 times the length of your normal breath, or just drawing it out a little bit more so you can truly enjoy all that nourishing, energizing breath. Good. And then let's start by just finding that nice tall seat here. So perhaps you rock gently back and forth, side to side. Maybe take some small circles with your hips, just to kind of find that place where you can really ground into your mat. Let those sits bones really root down. Good. Start to shrug your shoulders up. Maybe take them around a couple times. Just finding a little bit of tension relief. Sometimes we hold tension up in the shoulders. Take it in the other direction. And just a nice little roll, nothing too dramatic here. Let's take some neck stretches. So again, not too dramatic. We're just warming up. So maybe you just allow that left ear to come down toward the left shoulder. And if you like a little more intensity, you can take that left hand above that right ear and just gently draw it down a little. And even allow that right arm to come behind your back so it doesn't rise up. How's the breath? Come back to center. And just allow that right ear to come down toward that right shoulder. And again, if you like, a little more gentle pressure above that left ear. And maybe bringing that Left arm behind the back. Drawing the shoulder back. Good. Hand down. And come back to center. Let's take a gaze over that left shoulder now. Drawing that chin toward the shoulder. Still keeping that spine nice and long, relaxing the shoulders. Come back through center. Take that gaze over the right shoulder. And back through center. Exhale as you turn. Maybe look a little farther behind you. Come back through center on the inhale and exhale over to the right. And back to center. Let's bring that chin down toward the chest. You can take your fingertips behind your head. Create a little gentle pressure here. So getting that nice stretch in the cervical spine, the long neck in the back here. And come on up. And bring those fingers in front of the forehead. And maybe just creating a little tension here by pressing your forehead into your hands into your forehead. Because it's strengthening that neck. Nice. Good. And release. Good. Hands down alongside you. Let's take them out to the side and reach them up toward the sky. Stretch up here. And trying not to reach from the shoulder, but just letting the shoulders relax and the arms stretch up. Fingers stretch out. Maybe turn the wrists a little bit or circle them around. And if this is too much stress on the back, you can always soften the elbows and get a little bit softer here. Good. Let's take that left hand out to the left. Reach that right arm up to the sky. Now you can walk those left fingers out as far as you like here to take a side bend, or you can bring that elbow in nice and close to the side ribs for a little extra support. No right or wrong. We always want to do what feels right for us. So whatever I suggest here is just that, a suggestion. Inhale, come all the way back up, reaching up, finding that length. Bringing that right hand out to the right. You can be on the fingertips or maybe you're full on the palm. And maybe that elbow comes in. So you find the expression of this posture that works for you, that gives you the best feeling. Come on back up, reach it up. Draw that belly in now. Let's move from the hips. So coming forward here at a nice diagonal. So if I were to turn sideways, so we're not curling in, we're coming forward with that long spine. When we find that edge, that place where we feel like we've gone as far as the hips will allow at this point, lower the hands. Maybe you start to walk them forward here. Maybe stretching forward, even coming down on the forearms if that works for you. Or sometimes it's nice to get that nice stretch by just coming onto the fingertips and keeping the elbows off your mat. So I invite you just to be here for a few breaths. Another option is to press the hands down and away as you press the hips back, the bum back toward the mat. Good. Come on back up. Good. Let's take those fingertips a little bit behind us now. Fingers pointing in toward our hips. Good. So open up here. Draw that chest up to the sky. So a nice little chest opener, heart opener here. You can intensify if you like by pressing into the outside edges of your feet. Pressing up with the hips. Knees lowering a little. This is optional. Okay, head can tilt back or it can stay just in a comfortable spot. Good. Come all the way down. Good. Good. Now you can either roll over these crossed ankles or roll onto one side. We're going to come to table posture on the mat now. So hands and knees. Okay. So fingers are spread wide. Wrists under shoulders. Feet can be flat or toes can be curled under. Just get the feel of it here. So if this is too much for your knees, a blanket or a pad, cushion underneath is always helpful. So press into the edge and the pad of the thumb into the index finger. Get that nice support here. And we'll start with a cow pose. So in cow pose, we let the belly dip a bit, the tailbone lift, the gaze is ahead. If this is too much compression for your spine, you don't have to go so far. You can keep your spine neutral. So your cow is on the inhale. And as you exhale, you begin to round that spine, pressing into the earth, drawing the chin toward the chest or the gaze between the knees. And then just flowing with your breath. Inhaling in the cow, exhaling in the cat. Take it for as many rounds as you like. Can be one breath, one movement, or maybe you hold one for a little longer if it feels right. So continue to flow, just getting that nice extension, flexion of the spine. Notice what happens with the abdominal area, the squeeze, and the breath. And then after your next cat, just come into a neutral spine. Stretch your right foot to the back of the mat. Let me walk up a little bit here. Oops. Okay. Lift that leg up. Maybe bend the knee in towards your hip. And stretch it out. And take it and cross it behind that left foot or ankle. Bring it back up. And bring that knee in toward your chest or knee toward nose. Stretch it out and tap it down. Press it back. So your foot is nice and firm on the floor. The ball of the foot. Lift it up. And bend that knee. Maybe drawing the heel in toward your bum. Stretch it out again. Take it behind that left ankle, gazing over the right shoulder. And come on back up. Draw it in toward your nose. And set that knee down. Reset your knees. You see that? I hope you can see that, okay? Alright. Let's take that left foot to the back of the mat. You're on the ball of your foot here, pressing back, nice straight leg, feeling that nice stretch in the back of the leg, lifting up, bending the knee, drawing the heel in toward your bum. Maybe lifting a little higher, but be mindful of that low back. Stretch it out again. Take that left foot behind the right, gazing over the right shoulder. Come back to center. Bring that knee in toward your nose or up into your chest. Stretch it out again, plant the foot, press back on the ball of the foot, opening the arch, pressing down and forward with your hands, lift up again, cross it behind that right ankle, gazing over the right, bring it up, bend the knee, bring it in toward your bum, and bring it all the way in toward your nose. Good, stretch it out, draw it down. Good, maybe circle the hips around here. Shake back and forth. Good. With your hands spread nice and wide. Let's start to curl those toes under. Hug the belly muscles in nice and firm here. Good. Start to lift the knees up off the earth, maybe just a couple inches. Lower back down. So notice what kind of engagement it takes to lift those knees up. So try not to strain in the arms or the shoulders or neck. Hug the belly in, lift the knees. Good core strengthener. And lower back down. And this time as you lift up, let's press the hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Good. So your hands, your fingers are spread wide. Good. Arms are straight with a little softness in the elbows. Maybe the wrists are just gently turned in so the eyes of the elbows almost face each other. Feet are hip distance apart or farther if that's more comfortable. And then you can begin to pedal the feet one after the other. You know this. Good. Walking the dog. The heart melts toward the thighs. Back is nice and long. Again, pressing into the thumb pad, the index finger pad. On an inhale, come up on your toes. Exhale, step or float to the top of your mat. Let's come into a half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana, and then soften through the knees and fold all the way. Now sometimes a block is useful here, so you can rest your hands on a block. So your hips are high, your chest is melting toward your thighs. Hands can, as I said, rest on a block. They can be on the earth. You can hold opposite elbows and sway side to side. You can take a bind behind your legs. So we straighten the legs as much as possible, keeping a little softness here. Good. Take another breath or two. Good. On your next inhale, root down into the feet. Rise all the way up to standing. Reach those arms all the way up overhead. And then bring the hands down in front of the heart center. So let's find Tadasana, mountain pose. So again, maybe just rolling those shoulders back. Chest is lifted. Hands can come alongside you here with the fingers spread wide. Feet about hip distance apart. Maybe you pop up and back, rocking a little bit on the heels and on the ball of the foot. Just getting a feel, a little bit of balance here. Good, maybe shake it out a little. Take some nice breaths. Good. Now let's inhale those hands all the way up. So from here we're going to take a side bend. So reaching those arms up, take hold of that right wrist with your left hand. Turn that right palm up toward the sky and side bend over to the left. Now you can press the hips out a little bit more if that feels okay, or you can keep them just where they were. This is a big side stretch, so that's the big focus here. Come back to center, release the arms. Stretch up again, gaining a little bit of space in between the vertebrae. Grab hold of the left wrist. Turn that palm up to face the sky, reach up and over. Same thing, you can let those hips travel over, a little bit over to the left. Or bring them back in line. Inhale, come on back up. From here we'll fold forward. Now we're going to, from here, come right into a balance pose, a standing split. So, block is again always useful. Or both hands on the earth. So root into that right leg and just start to either just stepping that left foot to the back of the mat, and that's a good place to be if you're not feeling ready to balance. Or start to lift that leg up, trying to internally rotate the hip so the knee points down toward the mat. You can bend into that right knee. You can lift up as high as you like. You can bend the knee, even reaching for a bind. Softening the chest toward the thigh. When you're satisfied, release that foot to the back of the mat. Okay. We're in a nice deep lunge. So in this lunge, this runner's lunge, again, A block is always available. Well, maybe not, but it is in my house. Anyway, take a block or even a book or something nice and solid if you don't feel right, comfortable rather, with your fingertips on the earth, if you don't feel steady. So knee stacks over the ankle or maybe slightly behind. You're on the ball of the back foot, and it can walk out a little bit farther toward the edge of your mat to give you a little more stability. So let's keep this left hand planted, or maybe on a block, and reach that right arm up to the sky. And as you do, draw that right shoulder back, lifting the arm. Or if you have any shoulder issues, maybe just allow that right hand to rest on your hip, or maybe wrap around, just lifting the chest. Exhale, bring that hand back down. Now let's lower that left knee all the way down to the mat. Again, a cushion or anything under that knee if you need it. Let's start by just rising up. So this will be our kneeling crescent. So allow the shoulders to relax again. That back foot, that left foot, can be flat on the mat or your toes can curl under. Arms reach up. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. Take that left elbow, cross it above that right knee. Maybe it's on the thigh, maybe it's above the thigh. Hands can press together here. Now you can also make a soft fist with the bottom hand, cover it up. Or if you don't like that right arm reaching up, you can always reach it behind you and even allow that left hand to come down. So you find the twist that works for you. Take a couple breaths here. Good. Come all the way back up. Palms come together, maybe even a slight back bend. Exhale. Lower the hands inside the right foot. Now walk your hands out to the left at a diagonal. And start to soften the elbows. Maybe they come all the way down onto the mat. Maybe they rest on a block. So here we're beginning to open that right hip. Also getting a side stretch. Hands can walk out as far as you like. Relax your head. Deepen your breath here. Inhale, walk those hands back up. Good. And let's start to straighten that right leg. So a half sitting or seated split. Good. So toe can come up, toe can come down. Ball of the foot can rest on a block. You can start to sit your hips back toward that left heel. You can sit tall. I'm going to give you another option. There's another block. Oh well. So you can also rest your hand on the block, getting that nice stretch. Hips come back. Maybe you fold forward. Maybe you're tall. Just want that nice stretch. Good. And then soften into that right knee again. Curl the toes of the left foot under. Lift the knee. Let's walk our hands to the left. So you're facing the wide edge of your mat. All 10 toes are going to point forward now. Lifting, maybe coming up onto your fingertips here or onto a block. Start to soften. Start to let the head go. Elbows bent. Wide-legged forward fold, perhaps lining up the fingers and the toes. Take a few breaths here. Heads relaxed, hips lifted. Nice deep breaths. On your next inhale, come back up onto the fingertips. Good. Walk your hands back to the front of the mat, turning that right foot forward. Step it right back into plank. Oops. This bloody bandage coming off. It's not literally a bloody bandage, so I don't want to gross you out. I mean a darn bandage. Okay. Into your plank. So pressing the hips back, belly in nice and firm. Now you can take a chaturanga here. So you can lower yourself all the way down with your knees lifted. Or you can lower the knees down and let the chest and the chin come down. And reach forward, coming into a cobra. Maybe a tiny gentle squeeze to the bum here, just to take the pressure off the low back. Elbows a little soft, or maybe arms as straight as you can. Curl those toes under, back to your down dog. Good, press it back. Walk it out again if you need to. When you're ready, step or float to the top of your mat. Come up halfway and fold it in. Inhale, sweep those arms all the way up. Get a nice stretch. Palms together, down to heart center. Good. Mountain pose. Find that sense of steadiness again. Inhale, reach those arms up. Let's take a side bend, maybe slightly different, maybe hooking the thumbs together, stretching those fingers wide, reaching up. And side bend over to the left. Nice reach. Feet are nice and firmly planted. Come back through center, stretch it up. Exhale, over to the right. Good. Stretch the fingers apart. Come back to center. Arms reach out, chest lifts. Fold it forward. Good. This time we root into that left foot and we take that right leg behind us. So this is our balance, our standing split, or if you'd like another variation, feel free. Good. Take a couple breaths. Again, you can always bend the knee, reach around, stretch it back out, and then step it all the way to the back of your mat. Good. So stacking that knee over the ankle, finding that runner's lunge. You're on the ball of that right foot. Keeping that right hand planted on the mat or block. Left arm reaches up. So stacking shoulder over shoulder if that's available, or that direction. Maybe bringing that arm behind your back, rolling the rib cage open. Reaching up. Lower the hand, lower that right knee. Good. Again, you can flatten the foot or keep the toes curled under. Start to rise up. And you're in your kneeling crescent. Breathe. Good. Hands come together in front of your heart. Take that right elbow, crossing it above the left knee. So here maybe the hands press together, palm to palm. Maybe you form a fist, soft fist, lower hand. Or maybe you even take that other hand behind, reach the right arm down. So wherever you are. Good. Finding the twist. Good. Coming back to center, reaching up. Lowering the hands now inside of your left foot. Walk them over to the right. So getting that nice stretch. And you'll feel it in that right hip flexor, left hip, right hip flexor. Now if you feel too much sensation, back off a little. So you don't have to come all the way down. You'll know when you're in the right place. If you feel any kind of electric pain, shooting, sharp pain, you've gone too far. So Come on, back up. Inhale, come on, back up. Maybe walk that foot a little more center. Now we're going to come into that half-seated split. You can always make it a full split, so I won't stop you if that's in your practice today. And then just find a place to be. You can stand all the way up or rise up with your chest if you like. You can walk it forward. You can bring that right cheek back and slide in, lower down. Wherever you decide to be, it's just right for you. So take a couple breaths. And then start to come out of the pose. So bend that left knee, curl the right toes under, lift that right knee up. Let's walk our hands over to the right. And here again, I'm facing away, but all 10 toes are facing toward the side of the mat. Your hips are lifted. Here maybe you take your peace finger and thumb, wrap them around your big toe, if that works for you. Let those elbows fan out, keeping the hip lifted, head lowered. You can take another variation. You can grab onto your shins. Bring your hands back. Walk forward. Step back to plank. Good. Keep that abdominal area nice and engaged. Lower your knees. Take them wide. Draw your big toes together. Start to sit the hips back for child's pose. Good. Take a few breaths. Arms can reach in front. Elbows can be off the mat or resting. Forehead on the mat. So this is a pose of repose. Place to let go of what came before, to relax a little bit, to breathe, to relocate that breath if you lost it. And then on your next inhale, just lift your head and heart. Take that left arm, either wrap it around your back, take it to the small of your back, or reach for that left heel. Lift your hips up. So we're going to come into an Ardha Ustrasana, half camel. Good. So this left hand can support the low back. Your hips move forward. Head can tilt back. You can reach for the heel. If you can't, you can always try for the opposite foot's heel. You just go where you can. And then let's reach both arms up and come all the way back to that child's pose. And bring that right hand, again, either to the small of your back or reaching for your right heel. Rise all the way up. Good. Lifting that chest toward the sky, supporting the back, or maybe reaching for the heel, or even reaching for the left heel. And come all the way back down into child's. Effort and ease here. Inhale. Let's come up into table. Let's kind of circle the hips back and forth. Curl the toes under. Lift the knees back to down dog. And breathe. Walk the feet to a place that's comfortable. Press down and forward with the hands and back with the heels. Let that chest just soften. And maybe walk that left foot a little closer towards center. Take that right leg up to the sky. Bend the knee. And if it's higher than your hip, roll open here. Maybe gaze under one or the other shoulders. And then let's come back and take that right knee in toward that left elbow. Good. Maybe give it a kiss. Reach it back up, back into that hip opener, and back toward that left elbow. Nice. One more time. Opening up, taking that little twist. Inhale, reach that right leg up. And now let's step it in between your hands. Pivot and plant that back foot. Inhale, rise up to a warrior one. So in our warrior one, our belly, our hips, rotate toward the front of the mat. Good. That back foot is nice and firmly planted. Shoulders relaxed. Reaching up. Good. Nice. Now let's just turn that left foot so that we're on the ball of the foot and we lift the heel and we're in crescent warrior. Good. So now we're balancing a little. And our balance might be pretty good now since we had those standing splits pretty early on. Good. Let's reach those arms forward. So you either come to a nice diagonal here or sit the hips back a little, reach forward. Bring those fingertips back. Good. Come all the way back up. Good. Now pivot and plant that back foot. Open the hips to the long edge of your mat. Find that warrior two. Good. Fingers stretch out. Breathe. Again, maybe just check that knee, that it's in the direction of the second and third toe. Relaxing the shoulders. Turn the palms up. Turn them back down, gaze over the front fingertips. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Bring that right arm up and back. Keep bending into that right knee. Left hand can come down the thigh. Wrap behind the back. Good. Reach both arms out again. And let's take an extended side angle. So right forearm plants on the thigh. Left arm reaches up or overhead. And maybe makes a couple little circles around, getting some rotation and mobility in that shoulder. And as it reaches overhead, perhaps you want to gather up the belly again and lift that right arm off. So both arms reaching. Come all the way back up. Good. Let's straighten that right leg. Arms in T again. If you have a block handy, maybe bring it inside that right foot. Start to reach forward with the right hand. Revolve the arms. I've got a block handy. Bring it inside. So we attempt to stack shoulder over shoulder. We keep a little bit of softness in that right knee. Good. Send that left hip back a little bit. Press down and forward into the right foot and shin. Takes a little pressure off that right knee. Good. Rise all the way back up. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Step to the top of your mat. Good. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. Come up halfway for the night. Plant your hands, step or float back into a plank. Either take a vinyasa here or go right to down dog. We'll meet back in down dog. On the inhale, lift that left leg up behind you. If it's reaching up higher, bend the knee. Maybe gaze under the right shoulder here. See if you can see your toes. Keep pressing down with that right heel. And then take that left elbow toward the right knee. Maybe give it a tap, a hover. Inhale, back up. Opening up. And tapping the elbow or coming close. One more time. Open up. Bring it in toward the elbow. Three-legged dog, reaching that leg behind you. Step it between your hands. Pivot and plant that back foot. Rise all the way up to warrior one. Takes core strength to get there. Good. Breathe. Good. Nice strong warrior pose. Kind of scissor the energy between the legs toward each other. Good. Feels good here. So let's now pivot off that back heel and make this into a crescent warrior. And just notice, it might not be so challenging to come right from warrior one into a crescent warrior. It might feel a little more natural for you. Good. Let's take those arms forward. So really pressing into that left foot and pressing back through that nice, strong, long right leg. Let those fingertips sweep down and back. Shoulders reach back. Inhale, come all the way back up. And plant that back foot. Open up into that warrior two. So just that back foot, so perhaps it's a little more parallel to the back of your mat. Check that knee. Shoulders about the same height here. Good. Turn the palms up. Turn them back down. Good. Turn that left palm up. Let's reverse that warrior. Reach up and back. Right hand down the thigh. Wraps behind your back. And then bring that left forearm onto the thigh. Roll that right shoulder open. Reach that right arm up. Again, you can take it overhead. You can move it around a little bit here. See how that feels. Maybe it's not a full circle. Let's go where it feels okay. Take it in the opposite direction. Reach it back. Good. Reach it up. Reach it over. And then engaging the belly muscles. Press into the back edge of that right foot. Reach that left arm up off the thigh. So both arms on either side of your head. Inhale, come all the way back up. Breathe. Good. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Step that back foot forward. Come to the top of your mat. Shake it out a little bit. Lots of good work there. All right, let's come into chair pose. So big toes can touch, or feet can be more farther apart if you prefer, hip width. Maybe bring your hands to your thighs and press those hips back. So hips come back, tail comes back. Good. So we don't want to round in, we don't want to arch. Just want a nice long spine here. Now if it's okay for the low back, reach the arms up. So arms reaching forward. Sitting a little lower perhaps. Good. Let's take a T-twist. Keep that right arm forward. Left arm reaches back. That looks cool. Okay. Let's reverse revolve. Reach up with the right. Still keeping that nice deep bend in the knees. Come back into the T-twist. Back into your chair. Good. Remember, hands can come to thighs anytime. Take that right arm back, left arm forward. Stretch it out. And again, a little reverse revolve here. Left arm up, still keeping the bend in the knees. Back to the T-twist. Back forward. Inhale. exhale, fold forward. Good. Let's take those feet a little wider apart, toes point out. Come into a squat here. So again, block can be useful here. So you can use it for your hands. You can use it to sit on, like so. Depending on your knees, you know, if you have any issues, you don't have to come this far down. You can make it a high squat. Okay. So find a squat. Find a place you can be for 3 breaths. Let's just say 3 breaths. Good. So, you know, in some cultures, people start to do this pretty early on. And you've probably even seen kids do this here in the West. So it's a pretty universal posture. But many of us adults just don't find it that often. It's good though. And then bring your hands either in front of you or behind. Come all the way to seated. Good, how you doing? Okay. So from here, I'm going to face sideways. Hope you can see what's happening here. Maybe I won't do that. Go forward. Okay, hope you can see my feet. All right, feet are flexed. Legs are nice and either pressed together at the shins and the knees, or maybe a little bit apart. Once more we sit tall. Maybe we rock forward and back a little, finding that seat. And finding the breath again. Maybe relaxing. Here in Dandasana, the staff pose, hands can come alongside the hips. Shoulders can roll back again. Feet can curl back, toes curl back. Find the breath. Close the eyes if you like. Inhale and reach those arms all the way up. Take a couple breaths. Good. Let's take that left sole of the foot and bring it inside that right leg. Now you can always gently pulse here. You can place a block or blanket, cushion underneath that knee for support if you like. And you can also take that leg farther down if that's too much for your knee. So really want you to take care of yourself here, whatever you decide to do. So there's no contest. And there's nobody, maybe there's nobody, unless you're doing this with someone else, there's no one to really watch you. So don't have to feel competitive, or, I know, we're not supposed to, but sometimes we do anyway, feel that way. So anyway, I don't mean to chastise you. Let's lift those arms up. I'm speaking about myself sometimes, I must admit. Reach up, 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 up. Draw the belly in. Let's lean forward, hinging from those hips. So those hips are a hinge. They're a little like a lever. Draw yourself forward. Hands can come wherever you like. You can place them on a block. You can place a block at the end of your foot. I love blocks.